As I'm thinking of my dear friend who is going through her first anniversary of grieving the loss of her daughter, I'm thinking back to my own grief journey. And my mum passed away. It'll be 9 years in January. And I'm trying to remember, the first 6 years were very difficult. After the 7th year, I found closure and was able to move forward. I'm now to the point where I actually no longer miss my mum. I'm trying to remember the stages also in my personal soul awakening. The soul awakening happened back in 2019. But I went through several years, I think 2 to 3 years of real heavy soul work. And I think the thing that helped me the most as I was going through deconstruction and reclaiming my soul was the epiphany, the awareness of the all consciousness, that I am consciousness, right? I myself am consciousness. I myself am a fractal emanation of God. This shifted everything, because now I had a consciousness that was different and other than just my human identity, my ego self, right? The awareness of just being a helpless human being. And like I say, that shift into all consciousness enabled me to observe my human emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. It's like I'm standing outside of myself, watching myself, and I could understand the human behaviors and emotions at a deeper level. And coming to the recognition of being consciousness, like I said, helped me separate from the human identity of a child and a daughter that had lost her mum and felt abandoned like an orphan in this world, right? As I was able to let go of the heavy identification as a daughter, as a human being, as a helpless, dependent human being on another human being that has now gone away, I could let go of the story, right? Our suffering is actually created by our mind and the story that our mind tells us and weaves us into. Like my friend keeps retelling herself the story that she's the mother of her daughter, and the mind fills in all kinds of blanks and really emphasizes this bond, mother mother-child bond at a human level, at an emotional level, and that is where the suffering comes from. She is currently confined to the human reality of the five senses, plus the stories, the traditional stories that we were conditioned into, right? Into the attachments, the emotional attachments. That's where the suffering, the missing, and the agony resides. And I don't think she has experienced the all consciousness yet, and herself as all consciousness, as an emanation of God. And so she cannot step outside of the role of the mother that lost a daughter. So that will be the perpetual story and tape that's going to keep playing in the mind until this epiphany of something greater is realized. And I just wanted to make mention of that. That is really when the turnaround came, and when I was able to release the human attachment to my mother, because now I could join her in the spirit realm of consciousness, and there I understand that we are never separate. We're never separate, right? So you can overcome grief, but you have to transcend your human identification, your identification as your human and the role you came here to play. It's a temporary role, and it only holds validity while we are in this physical life. Once we pass, the stories of Earth no longer hold true. They no longer exist, and they no longer have bearing on the soul. So this is the essential ingredient that is necessary to move beyond human suffering and human grief, this earth-boundedness, right? And I'm waiting for this epiphany to come to my friend, because I know that's when her life can move forward, when she is not going to be stuck in this human grief for the rest of her life. That's really where it's at. The higher consciousness, recognizing, self-realizing yourself to be higher consciousness that transcends all human suffering, all human connection, because that gives us the awareness that we are connected, always connected to one another, just not merely in the physical form, right? So anyways, I hope some of this makes sense and helps. Like I say, I'm not in deep grief anymore. Yes, I'm going to experience grief again. For example, when my dog passes or my siblings pass away, but it should be short-lived.